All right, good night, everyone. Welcome to the MIB Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Jason Craig, back with another episode. Now, on tonight's episode, we've got a special guest from the Twin Island state of Trinidad and Tobago. I'll allow her to introduce herself, but a little background. This guest has lost up to 36 pounds, and she's going to share with us her journey, her struggles, and more importantly, how she feels now that she is here. So without further ado, allow me to introduce Debbie Alfonso. Debbie, good night. How are you doing?
Hi, good night, Jason. I'm great. I am great.
Lovely, and welcome to the MIB Secrets podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. It's a pleasure having you here. So, how are things in Trinidad before we actually jump into the interview?
Well, we have had a few deaths. I think we have gotten out to 56. Well, majority of the persons are following the protocols of wearing masks, social distancing, and hand sanitizing.
Lovely.
So we are trying to keep the curve down right now. So the citizens are really trying hard to stay in line with the protocols from the DMO, the CMO, and the government Ministry of Health as well.
Lovely, lovely. I'm super happy to hear that. And before we actually get into the rest of the interview, tell the audience a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, my name is Debbie Alfonso. I am a housewife and a mother of a 24-year-old son. My hobbies are like reading and, well, now that I've been into this group, exercising.
Lovely.
I like participating in church activities, and I enjoy most of all traveling and stuff like that.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much for sharing. So, Debbie, let me ask you something, because it's normally one of the first questions we ask to the participants in the show. What would you say was the major contributing factor to the initial weight gain? Now, some ladies say it was pregnancy, others say it was because of the work schedule, others say it's poor eating habits. What would you put the blame on, or say that is the contributing factor to to your weight gain?
Jason, I personally believe that poor eating habits, lack of exercise, hormonal imbalances, and a lack of willpower. Those were those are the reasons for me gaining weight.
Okay. And when you would have gained this weight, what was the heaviest you got up to?
232 pounds, Jason.
Wow. 232 pounds. Wow. And what was it, Debbie, that made you realize that, hey, Debbie, you need to do something about this. This can't continue. What would have happened that caused that switch to go off to ignite that change for you?
Okay. Firstly, I was very uncomfortable with the weight. Yeah, and secondly, like none of my clothing would fit properly how I would want it to be. You know, it's always like every time you get dressed or attempting to get dressed and you put on a piece of garment, you realize something is wrong here. That's just not fitting in. But most important is when I started to read up, I realized that it was terrible to have extra weight. It is so unhealthy and stuff like that, especially when it comes with those unwanted fat around your abdominal areas. I realized it was a health risk, so I decided I wanted a healthier me. So that's when I realized that it was time for me to make a switch in my life.
Okay. And what was that switch? What was the first action you took when you decided to make that switch?
Well, it was a mindset. I made up my mind, it's time to draw the lines. And here and behold, during that time, I was contemplating on it is when I saw this ad on television concerning the women 35 years and older to join into this group with Jason Craig And I was startled about that because I'm saying, for free?
Mm-hmm,
Where,
mm-hmm,
where this godsend came from? Where did this gentleman came from?
mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm,
because several times I have seen things like that, and to the end of the reading, you would see at a cost. But
mm-hmm.
here it is, this gentleman did not offer us anything but his his
Expertise.
yes, his
Mm-hmm.
expertise to be part of this group. So I said, let me just take the chance and jump in. But to me, that was the best decision I have ever made.
Mm. So you
Mhm.
joined the group, and at the time it was the 6 pounds Igniter Challenge.
Challenge,
And
yeah.
what was the first thing that you did?
Well, the first thing that I did is started to look at my diet.
Mm. Okay.
Right? I started
Okay.
to look at my diet, and then it's not like if we were left alone from the minute of we joined this group. Jason was there with us throughout. He stuck with us closer than a brother because he told us, he guided us, he was there for us, he protected us from even ourselves in the
Mm.
way in which he taught us to eat healthy, from scratch our exercises. He taught us everything in the book that you needed
Mm-hmm.
or to aspire to lose weight. And he never left us. He kept with us throughout our sessions and
Nice,
made us feel
nice.
so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And this was remarkable. This was, for a fact that this is a human being that came from God, especially, especially for us, especially for
Lovely,
us.
lovely. And what were some of the things that you learned in the Igniter Challenge? You mentioned about eating. What else would you say you learned there that really helped to kickstart that weight loss?
Okay. It was like our exercise program. It was
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
the most thing that strike me is when you insisted on our whys, the reason for us going on
Ah.
the program. And
Mm-hmm.
that made a change for me because in that way everything else was included. Um
Mm-hmm.
you, you precisely spoke about being stress free, having pleasant night rest, exercise,
Mm-hmm.
everything was included in that program. And
Mm-hmm.
when on the top of it was our why. So we knew that we wanted the reason why we wanted to lose the weight, and then he instilled in us all the other attributes. So it came to a total package whereby
Mm-hmm.
had no it was like a journey, but we were never left alone. So that
Mm-hmm.
all that was said to us just came into one scenario whereby it's a sure reason and way of losing weight.
Got you, got you. And now, Debbie, that you're down to 36 pounds, that you're 36 pounds lighter, how does it feel?
My God, it's magnificent. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's a feeling that it's exciting. It's confident.
Mm-hmm.
You know how remarkable it feels when you step out of that gate there, and somebody say, "My God, look at you!" And just yesterday, we visited Pennywise, and this young lady said, "My God, you looking so much younger." And I said, "I owe it all to a gentleman named Jason, Craig, and Kevin." It's a real nice feeling. It's exceptional.
Wow.
It has you feeling so different, Kevin. It's a feeling that of happiness, of glow, of confidence, everything put together that is in glory. That's that feeling that you get from losing this weight.
Mhm. Nice, nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. And
You're
let me ask
welcome.
you this, right? If you were to go back to the Debbie, sorry,
Yes, I'm listening.
are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing
Oh,
you.
sorry. So if you were to go back to the Debbie, the 232-pound Debbie, and walk her, you now are going to be her coach, and walk her through the process to getting down 36 pounds lighter. What would you tell her to do? Step 1, do this. Step 2, step 3. Go for it.
Okay. I would say to her, first, you retrack your steps from where you began. What's your diet, your exercise, stay stress-free, put your detour there with whys. What's the reason why you want to get back to where you were? Because with all that confidence and stuff like that, it helps you, builds up your self-esteem so much that you will really want to get back there. So you will apply all your whys, which is your diet, your exercise, your anxiety, your stress levels, everything that you were taught, that Jason taught you, just step on them and make sure that you apply them diligently. And I believe within everything within me, you're going to get back to lose that weight.
Got you. So retrack your steps, focus on your whys, and with the whys, use that to apply the exercise and also the stress management.
Stress management, yeah. Diet and
Got you.
else. Yeah.
Nice. So Debbie, there are other ladies listening to this show who are like you, where you were before. They are in a body that they're not comfortable in. They're probably going through different stages in life, menopause, they have kids, and they need some sort of a motivation to take action. They've probably tried a couple times before, but they need some sort of a motivation. You have the flow now. What would you say to them?
I would say to them, you need to get in contact with Jason Craig and his program. Because that is one of the most magnificent programs that you will ever get in where weight loss is concerned. Because his program is set out to bring transformation to your life. And the greatest gift I think any woman would have who is struggling with weight loss is to get in communication with you and this group. There is no doubt that being part of this group, there's no doubt that you would not lose that weight. It is guaranteed.
Got you.
It is guaranteed.
Got you. Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for sharing all of those powerful nuggets. And more importantly, thank you so much for being part of the MIB Secrets podcast.
Thanks a lot, Jason. And may God continue blessing you with everything that he has given you to pass it on to us. You are a gem.
Thank you very much. That is so kind of you. We really appreciate that. Kevin and myself, we really appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode of the MIB Secrets. Again, we had a very special guest here with us, Debbie Alfonso, MIB superstar, sharing with you her journey, her transformation, and most importantly, giving you that final bit of motivation for those of you sticking and still wondering if you should take that leap of faith, if you should take back control of your health, take back control of your weight. So Debbie, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for being on the MIB Secrets. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Jason. You're welcome. Have a blessed night.
Lovely. And for everyone else, thank you for tuning in for this episode of MIB Secrets. I'm your host, Jason Craig, and until our next episode, have yourself